great-great-grandfathers born here on Tuggerah Lake, and our families have been associated here, like I said, for generations. And this area here, which we call Turrigal, which is the whole region and area, it is part of the Erina clan group. You probably know some of the names that I'm saying here in Erina, which are now suburbs, which a lot of people don't know that Erina is an actual clan of the Darkinjung. Narara, Tonga, Kalnura, which is a lot of the Central Coast names, Wyong and Wollombi, which are all clan groups which make up the Darkinjung. And there's an actual group that we call Woonungari, which is our mother group, which basically covers all this area and which also links with the Wabakal, which is further north. And so our people lived here for generations and celebrated, and there's a lot of different places not far from here in the Ridgeway, which is not just far from here, which is basically an Aboriginal track that led down to the beaches into Wambarral Lagoon and Wambarral Beach and Terrigal Beach. And there's a lot of, I suppose, special places that our people gathered in different areas, especially around, not really close to here, in Foresters and Wambarral, and where they would gather annually in regards to the annual walk when different bush foods were available to eat. That's what our people did. We journeyed across different lands. Arimba, which we call Norimba in language, which is the sacred place or the sacred belt, where the dance circle was, and we have another place called Nora, which is now called Nora Head today, which is another place of the sacred circle of dance. And there's a third place of the sacred circle, which is at the mouth of the Byron River, which sits on Tuggerah Lake. And these were the ceremonial places that our people gathered. And it was all about basically bringing up our children in understanding our connection to the land, where we come from. We believe that we are basically people of the Milky Way and people of the Mirrabooka. Mirrabooka means Milky Way in our language. Mirror means stars and Booka means river. And we call that the river of life. And the old people would always say that when we say, where do we come from? We believe in a creator God in Bayami, and naturally he's the male god, but we have a female god called Yi. And so naturally you can't have one without the other. And in our culture we have both, Yi and Bayami. Yi represents our mother, and she is related to the earth itself and everything that is on the earth. Bayami is the sky god. He's related to the stars. And we call him the morning star, and we call our mother the evening star. And that's basically carved in stories right across our land. And so the Mirrabooka we call the river of life, and that's where our soul comes from, what gives us life, which is basically given by Bayami and Yi. We call that our Yi, which is our spirit of life, and that's where it comes from, the morning star. So when we go back, or when we actually pass on in this life, we go back to where we come from, to the river of life, in the Milky Way, in the Mirrabooka. And even in this month now, there's an emu that appears in the western sky in the Milky Way, and the full moon is only last week, but at this time now, at the end of this month in May, and like the winter solstice, is that the emu appears in the western sky. You can't see it here on the coast, but it's too bright. But you can go out to Wollombi, near the sacred mountain of Mount Yango, which is not far, and you can actually view the emu in the sky as it sits at this time in the Mirrabooka. And that sits there for so long in the constellation until it changes again. And so that marks, we say, the beginning of the ceremonies linking back to our mothers. And these emu is a traditional totem link to our mothers and grandmothers, and they pass on these stories to our children, and they pass on these connections which we call song lines, which connect one group to another. And so ceremonies would be started at this time when the emu, or the Dinawan we call her, appears in the evening sky. So so that really, this ceremony links with that ceremony too in a way. So it's a very it's a good timing, I suppose, to conduct this ceremony in the time of the Dinawan that appears in